Hello everyone. In today's video, I am very excited to share my review of Gallery Mungyo's Artist Soft Oil Pastels. This packet comes with a leaflet which explains everything about these colors. It says what colors are included, what are the components, how to mix them, and so much more. This pack is a pack of 48 vibrant colors. So let's get started with the swatching. The first thing I noticed when I opened the box was the variety of the colors itself. It seems like it has the right assortment of colors for beginners. This color feels quite smooth on the paper. It's practically gliding on the paper, which I really appreciate. For your reference, guys, here I am using 130 GSM acid-free sketchbook paper. This paper is neither too textured nor too smooth, and I think it's ideal for this demonstration. Although you can see a little bit of texture right now, later in the video I am going to show you how to use blending stumps or oil painting medium to achieve a very smooth and flat wash. Right off the bat, I can say that I have no problems with the pigmentation of these colors. Every stroke is very saturated and it's quite pleasing to work with. And unlike the Sennelier oil pastels, these are not super melty in your hands, so you have a certain control over the crayon itself, which I think is well suited for beginners. At the end of these swatches, I'm going to put the corresponding numbers next to the colors so you can pause and see which color is what number. As I said before, I think I actually like the assortment of the colors themselves. It seems like they have included the right types of purples, the right types of yellows, the right types of greens and blues, and so on. This is important for beginners because then you don't have to mix the most commonly used colors as they are already included. And now here are the corresponding numbers of these colors. This is an oil painting medium. I want to show you how to use an oil painting medium to achieve a flat wash in case you have a very textured surface. You can also use blending stumps to remove the texture of a swatch, to blend two colors together, and also to mix colors. Here I'm trying to see what swatches I should start with. I think I am going to settle for the reds. As you can see, when I'm moving the blending stump over the swatch, the texture is practically disappearing. If I'm trying to create realistic art with oil pastels, I tend to use blending stumps a lot. By the way, guys, this action almost feels like using a very high quality colored pencil. I also want to remark that it seems like the pigment load or the saturation is pretty uniform across the whole palette. So it's not like some colors are super saturated and the other colors are dull or faded. And as you can see here, whether the color is light or dark, the effect of the blending stump is still more or less the same. Now that I have showed you how to create a smoother texture and a flatter finish using blending stumps, I also want to show you how to do the same with an oil painting medium. I am now going to take a very small amount of oil painting medium in a palette. This is a filbert brush in number 2. I'm going to take a very small amount of medium on the brush, and then I'm going to start creating a wash over the swatch that I want to soften. The purpose of using an oil painting medium with oil pastels with a brush is that when these pigments are on a brush instead of a crayon, you have greater control over what types of edges and lines you can create with the brush. What I have noticed here is that with the brush and oil painting medium, I can still see a little bit of the grain, a little bit of the texture underneath the flat wash. So if I wanted to achieve a really flat and uniform wash with sharp edges, what I would do is I would use the blending stump overall on the swatch and still use the brush and the oil painting medium to create the defined edges. Also, it seems to me like not all colors are blending in the same way, so the blending stump seems like it gives a much more uniform result, so you know every time what you will get. And with the oil painting medium, it's a hit or miss how much you are able to flatten the texture. And here you guys can see up close what is the difference between the texture created just with the crayon, the texture created with a blending stump, and finally the texture created with an oil painting medium and a brush. And now I want to see how well are we able to mix these colors using a blending stump. In the beginning, I just want to use two colors and see how the two colors mix, because generally in my paintings at least, I don't happen to mix more than two colors that often, because I know that with oil pastels, layering can be a little bit difficult. So as far as I can, I try to get away with trying to mix more than two colors. I think that they mix relatively well, but I have my doubts that if the layers started to pile up, that the stump is going to start etching the crayon out. As you can see here, the blending and the mixing of all colors is not the same. Some pairs of colors mix and blend well together, some colors not so much, and I think it would be a matter of time and practice to discover what colors blend how well with each other. And now here I want to see how well the two colors mix with an oil painting medium, and right off the bat I can tell that the grain is too obvious below the swatch and it's not blending as well as with a blending stump. So although it seems that it's faster to mix two colors with a brush, I'm not a big fan of the final texture that's appearing. It's looking very unkempt and not neat enough for my taste. And now I randomly want to use three colors and see how three colors layer on top of each other. So let's start with the pink one, then the purple one, then the other purple. So far, I am not seeing any flaking with the stump, but it could just be the trio of these three colors that works well. Once again, like with mixing and blending two colors, it could be that some trios work really well and the others don't. And finally, guys, with any sets of colors, I always try a black and white mix because I think it tells you a little bit about the polluting strength of the black and the brightening strength of the white colors. So let's see. So as I can see here, the black is fairly polluting. So if I were creating darker colors using black, I would be careful and use a very reserved amount of black. So guys, the conclusion is that if you're anywhere from a beginner to an intermediate level artist, the quality of these colors is perfectly acceptable. Thank you so much guys for watching my video. Please let me know in the comments what is your favorite medium of painting. Is it soft pastels, oil pastels, acrylic paints, oil paints, gouache? Please let me know in the comments below. I will see you guys soon next week with a new video. Bye!